All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to our latest explainer from the Agile Auditor, right here at Risk Vigilant Barra. Today, we're exposing a massive, honestly kind of terrifying supply chain trap. We are talking about a hidden financial sinkhole that literally destroys budgets and wrecks profitability for companies all over the world. So what is this invisible budget killer? It's called landed cost, and it is the absolute true price tag of doing business.
Picture this for a second. Imagine you've got a corporate buyer who finds a foreign supplier selling a factory machine for 10 lakh rupees. Now, on paper, that is 2 lakhs cheaper than the local supplier's quote. So he signs the contract, probably giving himself a mental high five for pulling off a genius negotiation. But just wait until that machine actually hits the factory floor. The furious finance team steps in and reveals the machine didn't cost 10 lakhs, it actually cost the company 14 lakhs. The buyer's absolutely stunned. I mean, why the massive jump? Well, it's because he completely ignored the invisible fees. He completely ignored the landed cost.
So, let's break this down. In simple words, zero jargon. Landed cost is the absolute total price of a product once it finally hits your warehouse door. It is not just the basic original price of the physical item you shook hands on. No, it includes that base price plus every single extra fee required to actually get it to you. We're talking ocean freight, customs duties, transit insurance, local port taxes, the whole shebang.
Actually, let's bring it closer to home. Think about buying a cheap gadget from an international website. You see a listing that says the gadget costs 5,000 rupees. You're thinking, what a massive bargain, right? So you excitedly click buy. But watch what happens on that final checkout page. Suddenly, they slap on a 1,000 rupee shipping fee, a 500 rupee import tax, and oh, let's not forget the 200 rupee handling charge. Suddenly, your credit card is taking a hit for 6,700 rupees. That initial 5,000 was just a total illusion. That 6,700 rupees, that right there is your true landed cost.
Let's see how this plays out in a real workplace scenario. Take a company like XYZ Limited. You've got an employee, let's call her Ria, and she needs to buy a massive volume of specialized copper wire. She gets 2 quotes on her desk. An overseas vendor quotes her 5 lakh rupees, while a reliable local vendor quotes 6 lakhs. Naturally, that overseas vendor looks way cheaper, so she confidently signs the deal. But she just walked right into a massive trap.
Here is the harsh reality. To get that copper from across the world to her factory, Ria now has to shell out 50,000 rupees for ocean freight, a whopping 1 lakh for government import duties, and 10,000 just for transit insurance. So the true landed cost of that supposedly cheap foreign copper? It's actually 6.6 lakh rupees. Because she completely failed to calculate those invisible fees, Ria accidentally chose the most expensive option on the table, causing XYZ Limited to literally lose 60,000 rupees compared to just going with the local vendor.
You know, this confusion happens all the time because beginners constantly compare quotes using the wrong baseline numbers. They just look at the basic cost, which is simply the money paid for the physical product itself. And sure, that number looks incredibly cheap on paper, but it totally tricks buyers into terrible deals. Seasoned professionals, on the other hand, they only look at the landed cost. That means the vendor, plus the shipper, the broker, and the government. Because at the end of the day, that is the true final financial hit to your company's budget.
Now, let's put our auditor hats on for a second. The ultimate red flag we look for is a systemic failure we call the phantom margin. Think about it. When a factory prices its finished products to sell to the public, it bases that price tag on the cost of the raw materials it bought. Now, if the company's ERP system is, well, lazily configured to only track that basic item cost instead of the fully loaded landed cost, the sales team is going to accidentally sell your finished goods way, way too cheaply. We actively hunt for this flaw because it often proves that a company, while falsely celebrating what they think is a 20% profit, is actually losing money on every single sale. The supply chain was secretly eating the entire margin the whole time.
So the golden rule here is incredibly simple. The item price might win the negotiation, but the landed cost absolutely determines the true budget. Never, ever let a cheap initial quote blind you to the actual financial reality of a deal. So I want to leave you with this thought. Tomorrow, pull up your company's last major purchase order. Take a hard look. Are your current suppliers hiding invisible fees in plain sight? And more importantly, is your ERP system covering it up? Stay vigilant, always calculate the landed cost, and I'll see you in our next explainer.